Only 2 matches separated us from knowing all the medalists of the Olympic Volleyball tournament in Paris, and as tradition dictates, the bronze final came first. Italy and the USA had to determine who deserved to wear the bronze medals more. For the Americans, this could have been their 3rd such result in their Olympic history, and for the Italians, their 4th. This was the 5th head-to-head meeting between these national teams in Olympic history, with Italy winning 3 of the previous 4 encounters. However, the most memorable and notable match was their last meeting, which took place in the semi-finals of the Rio de Janeiro Olympics. Ivan Zaitsev's 4-ace streak denied the Americans a chance to compete for the gold medals. But that was 8 years ago, and there's no point in dwelling on that battle now. Today we're witnessing a new chapter in volleyball history. Every set was incredibly close, with the winner determined by the smallest margin. Unfortunately, the match didn't go the full 5 sets. In the first set, neither team could gain a lead of more than 2 points, and the lead changed hands 11 times. The last to take the lead were the American volleyball players, who won 25-23. In the second set, the USA managed to secure a 3-point lead towards the end. However, thanks to a powerful serving streak from Riccardo Spertoli, who came on to help his team, Italy not only equalized but also took the lead, securing a set point. Unfortunately, they couldn't capitalize on it, so the Americans won again, 30-28. At the beginning of the 3rd set, it seemed like it would end quickly as the USA jumped to a 6-point lead right from the start, but they almost fell into the same trap that happened to them in the match against Poland. The Americans relaxed and started to play around as everything was going so easily that it was hard not to get into that mindset. But Italy also remembered the importance of this match and began to chase them down. However, as in the previous sets, the USA proved more resilient and reliable in the end, securing another bronze medal in their collection, 26-24. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see a long 5-set battle, but this match still gave us plenty of emotions and intense competition, leaving no bitter aftertaste from watching it. There's nothing to criticize about the USA. They played their volleyball and achieved a well-deserved result. In my opinion, Russell had his best season with the national team in the last 5 years. The quarterfinal was a bit shaky for him, but it didn't affect the overall picture. As in the semi-final, DeFalco walked around with a sad face, showing no emotions, which again made me worry about his productivity, which definitely suffered. But after scoring a few crucial points towards the end, a smile appeared on his face and his usual bright play returned. The American middle blockers Holt and Averill were again super aggressive in attack throughout the tournament, proving to be an essential tool in achieving this significant goal. The Italian middle blockers, on the other hand, were almost invisible in this final. Perhaps Ginelli's reluctance to set them frequently in previous stages threw them off rhythm, or maybe the setter understood the potential risks of involving them more. It was fascinating to watch the head-to-head battle between 2 of the best setters in the world, and in this duel I think Christensen was stronger, a powerful performance by Micah throughout this tournament. Only Brizard could compete with the American for the title of best setter, but if France wins the final, there's no contest. Oh, and I almost forgot, Ginelli celebrated his 28th birthday on this day, but like Ognjenovic, he didn't get the gift of a victory. Moving on to the opposites. Even at 37 years old, Matt Anderson continues to prove he's still in top form. It seems he was so inspired by his play and the team's success that he's reconsidered his decision to retire from the national team, despite announcing it earlier in the season. Romano is far from ending his career, but I was equally impressed by his performance. As I mentioned in previous reviews, I thought the opposite might be a problem for Italy, but Yuri, as it turned out, was the most reliable attacker, as he proved in the bronze final. Unfortunately, my opinion of De Giorgi hasn't changed over the years. The Italian coach believes so strongly in his starting lineup that he's not ready to make any changes. Lavia clearly struggled in this match, but no substitutions followed. Only Sanguinetti came on in the 3rd set, where he added some dynamics and passion to the team. It was strange to hope that a middle blocker would turn the game around. It was also odd to rely on the hope that something would magically change and the team's play would suddenly come alive. This criticism I had of him even last season. It turned out that the Italians followed Slovenia's example, failing to win a single set in the final stages of the Nations League. The Italian volleyball players mirrored this, leaving all their strength and miraculous comebacks in the quarterfinal. Once again, congratulations to the USA on their well-deserved bronze medal, and we wish Italy good luck in upcoming tournaments. Romano and Micheletto were the top scorers here, both with 17 points. The match result and statistics are now on your screens. And after that, we eagerly turned our attention to the final match, where France and Poland for the second time in their history tried to win gold medals. For the teams, this was their second head-to-head meeting in Olympic history, with the French winning both times. The first was an inconsequential 3-0 win in Athens in 2004. Then, in 2021, a 3-2 victory knocked Poland out at the quarterfinal stage and allowed France to advance towards their first ever gold. Unfortunately for Poland, the hosts of the 24 Olympic Games hit incredible form in the final, leaving the Poles with no answer to this onslaught. Poland played effective volleyball, they looked great, and with this level they could have won any other match, but not this one. France was unbeatable today. Where the Poles were searching for their best serves, the hosts spoiled their setter with perfect reception, and Brizard converted it into unstoppable sets for the opponent's block. France finished the first set with 88% attack efficiency. Poland improved their attack in the second set, and the French slightly slowed down. However, even that wasn't enough for Nikola Grbić's team to win. This time, the serve and block made the difference. Brizard excelled in both elements, and he's also eyeing the MVP title of the Olympic Games. The third set was decisive. Grbić wasn't shy about making substitutions, and they usually worked. Bolanc, the opposite, entered the game particularly successfully, becoming the top scorer for his team in this set. But Gianni also had a super sub. Traditionally, Gefrua came on to strengthen the serve. And who would have thought this serving streak would be so lethal for Poland? 3 aces on 6 attempts from the French middle blocker nearly sealed the match. The final nail in the coffin was driven by Leon, who, after a crazy serving streak that began at 24-20, made a mistake on the last match point, allowing the French to start their wild celebrations. 25-19, 25-20, 25-23. From now on, France is a 2-time Olympic champion. Congratulations to them! What can be said about Poland? As I mentioned earlier, the Poles played a really good match. Interestingly, Kurek had his best individual performance of the tournament, but I think he lost his focus and concentration during his conversation with Brizard, and that definitely didn't help the Polish opposite. As for the French opposite, he also decided to redeem himself for his less than stellar performances throughout the playoffs. Maximum concentration and productivity from the first to the last rally. The French were magnificent as a complete team today. This was their best match of the entire international season. Some may argue that another team could have stopped them, but we'll never know. France cleared their path by defeating both the world champions and the European champions. It was incredibly satisfying to see that the hosts didn't get caught up in negative emotions, focusing instead on the positive atmosphere within their team, which undoubtedly benefited them. Take Ngapet, for example. In the quarterfinal, he was very aggressive, constantly venting his negative emotions on the opponent. In the semifinal, he exchanged bright, positive emotions with the fans. In the final, understanding that emotions could drain his energy and knowing he'd need that energy, he barely celebrated and quietly went to the stands for a recharge. Even in contentious moments, no matter how much he wanted to argue with the referee, he didn't. I have no doubt that the MVP will be someone from the French team, but I have no idea who it will be. If you have any thoughts on this, share them in the comments. The top scorer in this match was French opposite Jean Patry with 17 points. The statistics of the final match of these Olympic Games are now on your screens. Well, the men's Olympic volleyball tournament in Paris has come to an end. This is what the final match review looked like. I really hope you enjoyed it and that you'll show your appreciation with a like and a subscription to the channel. I'll summarize the tournament's conclusions in a separate video. I'll take a breather and treat you to an interesting video next week. As always, this has been Nick with you. Love what you do and you will surely succeed. See you soon. Bye.